One of the most interesting things I actually find about a particularly urban townscape is how many buildings we actually drive past every day and we don't notice them. And this is a particularly interesting building that I find. It's quite striking once you look at it. One of the difficulties that people drive past and they walk past and they never actually look up. This building dates from 1888. It's the original Tor Constitutional Club, which then became the Tor Unionist Club, and then became the Tor Conservative Club. The reason it's here is because of the 1884 Constitutional Reform Bill. In 1884, the franchise was enlarged dramatically. From then on, certain working people could actually get the vote. So we're talking about the franchise enlarging up to 5.5 million people. That brought a huge number of ordinary people into the franchise. It's most important to remember that it didn't include women and it didn't include 40% of the working class. But if you had a certain amount of property, you could then vote. What was then realised by the Conservative Party was that with so many people coming in, there'd be so many more people that would want, first of all, to vote Conservative, and second, to be members of a Conservative club, a Conservative association. And in 1883, we had a constitutional club that was built a little bit further down the road here in Abbey Road, but that was too small. It was flooded with numbers of people that really wanted to sort of join and become loyal to the Conservatives. And so they looked around for a building. They found this building right in the centre of an urban centre of Torquay. It wasn't a new build. This is a conversion of a previous building that we don't actually know what was there. We're guessing it might have been a quite high-class lodging house. There are stables at the back, supposedly used by Agatha Christie. So they converted a building into this. It's Gothic, and it's important to recognise that when they actually took over this building, what they did was they developed it in the Gothic style. Now, the Gothic style actually means something. It was already the favoured architectural style of Torquay's Anglican and Tory middle classes. So they replicated this kind of Gothicism actually symbolises a number of things. It symbolises patriarchy, it symbolises authority, and it symbolises power. But it also symbolises conservative ideals around freedom, around individuality. And the other interesting thing about this building is that it was part of that construction of the Torquay middle classes. So the middle classes were always riven between various levels of middle class people, but this is a place that those different forms of middle class men, and it was only men, could actually come together to discuss particular issues, to avoid any kind of conflicts, to make deals. So it's a way to empower, and it was a way to construct the conservative middle classes in late Victorian England. And I don't think we ought to forget that one. And it's not coincidental that we started getting these buildings, these great sort of Victorian buildings, at the same time that there were other challenges to the middle classes. We had the sort of rise of the working class, we had the sort of breakdown of the Anglican Church, and a lot more other churches and other faith traditions that were actually coming into Torquay. And 1888 was the year that we saw the Salvation Army riots in the centre of town. So lots of challenges, and I see this building as a way that an alternative to sort of the working class was actually constructed in Torquay. So let's not forget these urban buildings, and it's such a shame that it's in such a condition that it is, but I can always see that it's so striking. It's right in the centre of an urban setting, and before we built Torquay Police Station, that would have been a 4-storey building in a 2-storey townscape, and I think it's quite interesting.
Thank you very much.